Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Yolanda and welcome to Unfiltered Me. So for today's video, the title of this video is When You Are the Problem. Y'all, this, like, I don't know where, but just like in my mind, and it kind of just relates to like my life situation right now. And I feel like it's always something when I'm on camera. But basically, yeah, so just like when you're the problem, I think so often, especially, I feel like this is mainly like, especially like in the church, at least when I was in the Mormon church, like, or just like in general, in church in general, it's like, you know, like refrain from doing this and that, and don't be peer pressured, and don't like follow these people, and don't do this and that. And so much we like deflect the blame and like, you know, like, oh yeah, that was just like that, or oh yeah, it was just this and that. But then it's just like, what about when we're the problem, you know? What about when we're the temptation? Like, so often it's just like, you know, like pointing out things in other people or other situations, like, yeah, they're X, Y, and Z, or this, that happened. But it's like, also, we can be a part of the problem too. And I feel like as a Christian, especially in my day and age, like, it's important to be self-aware. Like, there is so many so unaware people that literally just, at least based on my morals and standards, are doing things that just seem wrong, but maybe to them it seems okay. But then there's just some things where it's just like, there's no explanation to anybody, it should be like deemed as wrong. There's always gonna be like, you know, differing opinions, but like, it's just like always so like, I feel like it's just like a relevant thing even now. It's just like, oh yeah, like I'm blaming it on like this or that. And sometimes, you know, like it can be like the root of the problem. Like, you know, I suffer, you know, like from some things, and it's definitely like, yeah, some days it's just literally that I'm feeling, or even sometimes it's like my period. Now, like, those are valid with period, but I will admit sometimes I exaggerate it more than it needs to be. But like, yeah, like sometimes we can be the problem, and I think it's, you know, good that like every day, like especially like before you go to sleep, that like we can like self-reflect and be like, you know, this happened, you know, actually I know it wasn't right, and like looking on ways to better ourselves and to like figure out like how you're gonna handle the situation better for next time. Because at the end of the day, like, it's important just not to only keep others accountable, but also yourself. And like, and just even in the Bible, like, it's okay, like, to like, you know, keep each other accountable, but also there's like comes to a point where it's, I feel like there's a line drawn where it's like keep people accountable, but then another line that's crossed when it's just like blatantly like judging a person. And it's just like, even in the Bible, like it mentions, like, you know, we shouldn't be judging people, because it's like we already have a lot of things. And like to God, like literally, I love this analogy, I know I mentioned it before, but like to him, like all of our sins are just equal. I remember hearing this at church, and it was like, yeah, like there's different, like imagine like, okay, I'm gonna put a bar graph right here, right? So you see like the different levels, and just like how like there's different varying, like, you know, some of them are low, some of them are high, some of them are in the middle. And but when Jesus looks down, it all looks the same to him. And hopefully you get that analogy there. But it's just like, yeah, like who are we to judge? Like at the end of the day, we're all sinful people. And it's just like, you know, like so often like we're quick to like point out the mistakes and, you know, the wrongdoings of other people, but it's just like we need to look at ourselves, look at our hearts. And sometimes we can be the problem situations, and that's just the reality of it, you know. Like I'll admit, like even this week, like honestly this is like one of like not my best weeks, and yeah, like I will admit, and I'm not proud of it, of course, you know, but like just to be like, you know, open, of course, like I have not been the best version of myself, and I will admit, like, I have been that person's temptation or distraction, and it's just like, I know that I should be doing right, but sometimes it's just so hard getting caught up. And then it's like when I'm doing wrong, it's like, oh yeah, like blaming it like, oh yeah, if they didn't do this or that. But sometimes it's just ourself leading us down our own paths. Like I was like honestly like in a huge rut this week. I don't even know what it was. Like I was already going through stuff, but just for some reason it just felt really just like slow, and just like I feel like right now, especially it being like the summer before college, it's just like life feels so slow. It just feels so like and I'm still like, you know, like 17 years old, so I feel like, you know, like I'm here at the house, but like I want to go like out there in the world. Like right now I'm planning trips, but it's just like it's just overwhelming, and it's just like I become so sad, and it's just like, no, like, you know, we can't get like trapped or caught up. Like it's so hard, and I feel like really this week really 100% tested my faith. But you know, ultimately at the end of the day, like I told myself, even, you know, if I just like step back a little bit, at the end of the day, like I still believe in God. I'm still going to, you know, 100%, like no matter what happens. And it's like to like, you know, really figure out things because like, you know, every day it's a work in progress. We're always like we should be like working on ourselves, and sometimes, you know, we just had to get ourselves in check. And I think that's what I needed, is to really just like a recalibration this week. And right now, like I'm coming to more of my senses than where I was earlier this week. But yeah, all in all, to say is that it's important to not only to keep others accountable and to really like be like paint them as like, you know, the problems of that. Sometimes we can be that too, and it's important to acknowledge that. And it's okay, you know, to be like, to admit. I feel like that's another like huge thing where it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm this bad person because I did like X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, yeah, maybe the incident was bad, but that, you know, doesn't have to define you. It's what you choose and how to respond to the situation. It does not have to define you, but for some people it does. And I know for some situations I've let things define me my whole life and just like make it seem like, oh my gosh, it's like the end of the world and all this stuff. But like, no, like it's okay to make mistakes. Once again, it's just a matter of how we respond, and things will get better. Right now I really need to tell it to myself, things will get better, and there's hope. But we just have to really be patient with ourselves though too. So yes, I really hope that this video may have just like enlightened you, or just like made you like think a little bit on it, because like, yes, it's important to us, once again, just to do some inner reflection about ourselves, because, you know, we all need it. It's like nobody's perfect here. And yeah, I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Bye.